any new people who are here for the first time to learn about our company, we're going to separate you and allow you to learn more about our company, who we are, what we do. And we're going to go over a presentation about finances and freedom, right? And I heard one time that the level of your freedom is determined by how well you control your finances. True or false? True. Right? True. I believe most people outside your health, the thing that we worry the most about is money, right? Bills. Being totally really excited. So I guess before I get into some things like guest bringers, top turnout, stuff like that, I guess I just want to talk about something that you guys are probably noticing is that there's different people at the front of the room now. And that's something we talked about as an organization. Our leaders, Shaq and Samir, they're focused on rebuilding their base shops, right? They just promoted 2 strong RVPs, first generation. And so they moved to Tuesday, and they're doing their own thing on Tuesday. But we're going to continue doing our thing on Thursday, and I'm really excited about it because in this room we have my team, top notch. We got is your team PFS Patriots fan? Is that official? Is that okay? Official? Yeah. I like that now. Right? We have 4 or 5 RVPs in this room that we all want to grow our teams, because if our teams are growing, that means there's other vice presidents on the way. Right? There's other people that are going to close on $50,000 a year, $100,000 a year, new leaders coming up. Because that's what this whole business is about. It's about people development, developing new leaders and things like that. So this is really a great opportunity for some of you guys who want to be in the front of the room to really take over now, because we're all basically starting over. Some teams are a little bit bigger than others, all right? But you know, that's what we're here to do, is to compete, all right? So I want to talk about our next big event. Is going to be October 7th. This is Saturday, right? Who has their tickets purchased so far? Look around. That's not enough people. If you want to get people there, you got to make sure you have your ticket first, right? This is a lead from the front business, so make sure you have your own ticket. Tickets right now are $10. I think we have 10 to sell. If anybody needs one tonight, I think we only have 10. You can come see me. I have some tickets. All right. We're going to bring in one of the most recent $1 million earners, Ian and Justice Bruckner. I don't know if she's coming, but I know that Ian's going to come. These guys are from Michigan, have one of the best organizations right now. And in, I think, a span of 2 years, they grew their income $600,000, right? You think about that. Where can you go, right? Whereas we were just talking, we're in 24 months, so you can grow your income $600,000 legally. Right? Right? And that's one of the great things. And this is going to be on Saturday, October 7th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. I think the tickets have the location on there. If it doesn't, we'll get that as we get closer. Okay? And this is a great option. So September is one of the last months that we're going to include in our recognition, right? So who's a senior representative or representative or basically just not a district leader yet, right? Raise your hand. You can use September to get promoted to district leader, so you can have an opportunity to walk the stage and get recognition, right? Right? Who's not a division leader yet? Same thing for you. Who's not a regional leader? Right? Who's not an RVP? Right? It's a great month to take advantage of that. You can capitalize at the big event. That's what we do this for recognition. Okay? So let's start off by seeing who brought guests out tonight. That's the point of tonight, is to be a builder. Okay, so let's raise our hand. If you have one guest tonight, raise your hand. Okay, awesome. So we're going to start on the right side of the room. Start with Josh.
Alright, so I'm actually standing up for Melinda.
Okay.
So she has a guest out that she actually works with. He was supposed to come out last week and decided to come out this week because he had something, prior engagement or something, but he's really opportunistic. He keeps his options open for a lot of things, and he's money motivated, which is the most important thing that I look for, is money motivated, and he's just excited to see what we have to offer.
All right, let's get it from Belinda and Josh.
Hello, I'm Giovanna. I met Siobhan at the gym. I started attending there. And I didn't even plan to prospect him. And then I just had a simple question that, well, what do you make for a living? He said, oh no, I just came from South Carolina and I'm looking for a job. I said, okay, let's come. And he's so excited. He came yesterday, he signed up, and he's now.
All right.
Go, Donald.
My name is Donald. I got one guest out. His name is Larry. I prospected him in the morning. He asked me, well, he needed to find out where the bathroom was at. I told him where it was at. On the way there, I was prospecting, told him about the
There you go.
Stayed with him, and he ended up coming out today. He's real excited.
Yes, sir.
She's from Sierra Leone. She's a certified nursing assistant. Prospected her maybe about a month ago when I was prospecting you. We're trying to get her out for about a month, and she is finally out tonight.
All right.
Anybody else? One guess? On this side? All right, we'll go on this side. Back to where your hand up.
Hello everybody, my name is Max. I got one of my friends. I've been following out with him every other week. He never showed up today. He said he got off at 7. He's the manager in Primerica, so stay out of that area. He's came today, but he decided he wanted to see what he's going to do.
Awesome. Anybody else with at least one guess? Is that two, or are you just raising your hand? Okay. Oh, no, I was talking to Brady. You go ahead first.
Okay, hi, I'm Catherine. I brought Kimmy up tonight. My husband and I were getting some yogurt, and she was dealing with a weight thingy, yeah. And I just said, do you keep your options open? She said yes, and we had a very awkward conversation. And I called her like 2 days later, and she didn't answer the phone. I was like, this is totally dead. And then I sent her a text, and she texted me back, and now she's here. So, yeah.
So 2 nights ago, I was on an appointment with my pastor, and we just ended our Bible study. And I go outside to take a phone call. I come back in, and they're talking about one of the guys needing a job. And I sit down on the couch. I was like, oh, you should work with me. And he's like, oh, really? What do you do? And I just told him about what I do. Got him the next day, yesterday, and hired him, and he's back here for me.
Awesome. Great. Anybody more than one guest? Okay, so real quick before we go to Shondell, I actually have a guest. His name's Brad. I met him going to some professional networking meetings. Turned out we went to the same high school. We played lacrosse, and I coached his younger brother about 3 or 4 years ago. So, he's a young, motivated guy. Just told him to come out, check it out, and he's considering maybe getting his license part-time. So, one clap for that. All right, Shondell, how many you got? 3? Wow, anybody with 2? Anybody with more than 3? Let's get it, right? All
right, so my name's Shondell, and I have 3 guests out tonight. 2 are actually from my new recruit. One His name's Sean Michael. It's funny, I sent him a Facebook message back in April, and then I got injured and started going to physical therapy, and he actually ended up working at the physical therapy office. And messaged me back. I was like, hey, I know you sent me that message a while ago, but I'm interested. So he's here tonight. And then Rahima, she had 2 people that she thought was very interested. She got recruited probably about 2 weeks ago, and she's an assistant teacher. So her friend, Samaya's here. She's an assistant teacher as well, working at the airport too. And one of her family friends who's qualified, he is here. He's not working, but he has a background in banking and finance. So this might be this.
All right, let's give it up for top turnout too on Tuesdays, right? It's all about a team. So if you're district leader below, stand up real quick. See who the one person is. And as we go, we'll have numbers over here for our records at this meeting, right? We've got to track that. So if you have 2 people, so that's you plus one other body, right, on your team, you can stay standing. Now you just have seats, that's 2. 3. 4. Dominic, you're standing? Yeah. You're the only one? Right, how many of you guys have? Oh no, so this Brady, where are you at? 3. Okay. No other district rights.
Where is he? 3.
Now we have to go to
got 3.
So who's got 3? You got 3? 3 total or 4? 3. No, 3 total. Okay, we're going to go premium. Okay? Who's on the board? Are you on the board? For this month? All right, divisions now, Dominic. The divisions. We'll start with 4, 5. Richard, you only one? 6. You have 6? All right, so 2 and 6. All right, anybody on the board for premium yet? No? All right, so one clap for these guys for 6. All right, so if you don't know, when we go to a tie, if you haven't seen them out, we go to premium. Who's hit the board, right? Because this business is not just recruiting, it's also what? Helping families, writing checks, collecting checks, I should say. Regional leaders, we'll have 1 in here. Where you guys at? 1 here. Okay, so, wow, 17. Let's give it up for Mike and Sean Brown. We'll start off at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 16. Let's get up to Sophia. Alright guys, so now we're going to transition to training, so we're going to bring up Matt, and he's going to give you guys a great training on overcoming objections, which overcoming objections is one of the early fundamentals we have to learn, because really an objection is just a request for more information. And the better you are at handling that, the better you're going to be at helping people make decisions that are good for them, right? That's what this whole business is all about. Good decision about why to join, good decision about why to apply, good decision about why to replace their policy, good decision about getting licensed and why to show up. So let's give it up for our VP, Matt Peterson. Yeah.
Good. Good. So what I'm going to go over today is overcoming objections and getting people started, because what is Thursday night about? Recruiting. So the whole theme of everything we talk about on Thursday night is distribution. And you know, you always have to keep the main thing, which is recruiting and distribution. So when we're sitting down with somebody, it depends on what kind of market you're in. Actually, Ricky did this last second, so appreciate it, bro.
I will.
So what we want to go over, though, is helping people get started. And when you're sitting down with somebody, you know, there's going to be people on the fence. There's going to be people who don't know, who are going to be unsure of getting started. And what I'm specifically talking about here is when you're sitting down with somebody who's not qualified in interview. Because some people, if you're not on a KT every night, that's the best place to recruit, is across the kitchen table. But is it better to sit down with somebody who's not qualified or sit down with nobody?
Somebody not qualified.
So it's better to sit down with somebody than nobody. But what's the whole purpose of an interview, meaning sitting down with somebody who's not qualified? What's the purpose of it? Recruiting. The purpose is to get on a KT with that person. It's not to get them to sign up, even though that's important. As a matter of fact, I want to get them, if they're not qualified, I want to see their parents ASAP. Who do they know that's qualified? The most important thing and the whole purpose of an interview is to use that one individual to get them in front of the person they know with the most credibility, who's usually a married person, isn't it? Yes. Because if you spend all the time and energy in the world getting somebody started, and they sign a licensing paperwork and pay $125, what does that mean? What's the purpose of it? But what does it mean for us? Like, when we get somebody to get started, we get a pat on the back. Do you get paid on IBAs? No. But we have to still get them. But if you were to ask me, the whole purpose of an interview is to turn it into an appointment. As a matter of fact, if you turn it into an appointment, you'll definitely get the IBA. If you try to hard close them for $124, you are they're definitely not going to join. So, this right here, who here is using kind of the new slides for interviews now? This slide right here should close everything for you if you've done a great job on the front end. And the truth is, and Hector Lamarck has said it before, the most important thing is getting people bought off on what we do for people. Because the only reason why people don't move ahead with us is they don't feel good about what they do and they're unsure of themselves, or they don't feel good about what they do because they're unsure that what we do is actually good for people. So really the whole purpose of an interview is to talk about how great what we do for families is. Because do they really care how much money they make if they don't think we're doing a good service for clients at the end of the day? See, we're trying to recruit the right kind of people that are most interested in helping families, doing the right thing. If somebody comes here just for the money, the reality is you can make more money selling insurance somewhere else. Because you're selling them a bad product, not because the other companies paid you more money. See, I would rather be able to sell the $50 a month policy and sleep at night than the $500 a month policy and know that I'm screwing every single family I'm sitting down with. But if somebody's more interested in the latter, then they should probably leave, right? This is the wrong company, go find someplace else. So that's why in my interview I talk about why what we do is so great, because that's going to eliminate the objection of them being unsure. Because we're talking about what we do and the money speaks for itself anyway, because where else can you go make $2,000 a month part-time, $4,000 a month part-time? So I go through this with somebody, and this is going to eliminate 90% of the objections right here, because when people are interviewing somebody, even though we talk about the bigness of the company, even though we talk about how great what we do is, even though we talk about You could become a regional vice president and make $20,000 a month passively. We talk about all that stuff. But you see, we want to sell it big, but at the same time, bring it down to something that they can actually visually see themselves doing. See, if I'm trying to tell Baj, drop out of school, drop everything you're doing, quit everything, and start with me full time, 80 hours a week, and you're going to build it, but you're going to make nothing. But 2 years from now, you're going to be making $20,000 a month without working. Is that a big decision? Huge decision. But if I say, hey, Baj, you don't have to quit your job, you don't have to quit school, this is 10 hours a week, and 10 hours a week here will pay you more than 30 hours a week at a retail job. Is that a big decision? See, we want people to realize how small of a decision trying this business is. Like, people actually think it's a big decision, so I can sometimes even ask somebody sometimes, it's like, hey, Mike, do you actually think this is a big decision? We're talking about making extra money, spare time. So that's why we tell people, hey, you give it 90 days. Worst case scenario, you become very educated about money, feel good about helping others, make $1,000, $2,000, you realize it's not for you. And Josh, I don't see, there's no shame in trying something and knowing it's not for you. But I honestly think there's a lot of shame in not trying it and wondering if it was always for you. So basically, I tell people up front, I want you to try and realize it's not for you. I'd be happier with that than you not even trying. But best case scenario, you find something you love, believe in, make $2,000 to $4,000 a month right away, have a hard time sleeping at night because you're thinking about your future. And if that's your worst case and best case scenario, do you see any reason why you wouldn't want to give it a try on a part-time basis? I don't know. I don't remember the last time I gave an interview and they're like, no, I don't see why I wouldn't try. So why is that so important? We've already agreed that it's good for them to try the business. So if we've agreed that it's good for them to at least try, now we can actually get to the real objections of what they're really worried about. Because somebody can't really say, I just want to think about it, if they already agreed that they want to give it a try. You already said you should give it a try. So there's got to be something to it. See, and by the way, this should look very similar to Saturday's training because recruiting is a sales process. There is no difference between doing an interview and doing an appointment. The only difference is you're asking somebody to give it a try versus asking somebody to protect their family, but you're still asking them something. So the process will still be the same. The question is do you know your lines? Do you know what you're supposed to say when they have concerns so you can make them realize it shouldn't be a big concern? So, all an objection is a request for more information. By the way, if somebody's asking you no questions throughout the whole interview, it means they're not interested. If they're just going, yeah, that sounds great, awesome. They're not listening. They're waiting for the interview to be over. So people get scared when they start asking, is this commission? They wouldn't have asked that question unless they liked what they saw about what we do. Pros look for objections because it leads to the actual close of helping them get started. And helping them get started is three things. You didn't help them get started for an interview, in my opinion, unless these three things happen. If these three things don't happen, you've been gambling, you haven't been getting people started. Number one, which is the most important thing, if there's only one thing you can get done from an interview, if they're under 25 years old, an appointment with their parents. If they're a little bit older, maybe they're more qualified, maybe they have a girlfriend or boyfriend, maybe they live together, you need to see them right away. Whoever has the most influence on them. There is nothing more important than that because the spouse is going to make them quit before you ever see them again for a second appointment.
the second thing is getting their orientation scheduled and sending the video. And if you can do everything, and then getting 3 to 5 referrals from people that you can help them build their team right away. I tell people when I interview them, you know, this is very, you know, one of the things we're looking is we're really looking to grow and expand, so we find our best people through a direct introduction. So Josh, if you were getting into business yourself, who would be one of the #1 people you'd want to get into business with? Donovan. And what's the best daytime number to reach him at? Oh, is he already on the pre-interview questionnaire? Okay, great. He wouldn't mind if I called, right? Nope. So now you can call the numbers they gave you. They gave you permission, why not? And maybe by the time they come back, they already have people scheduled to come in. Then after those things, IBM. But unless you've actually gotten them started in the process, you collecting licensing paperwork is a head fake because you see a point on the computer, you feel great, but then they call you up at 5 p.m. midnight, Shay, what do they say? I've been thinking. Talking it over. I spoke with my mom. I talked to my wife. We just got a whole bunch of stuff on our plate now. Even though I've been jobless for 6 months, I just got a lot of stuff going on. Obviously, that wasn't the concern. They don't have stuff on their plate. They're scared of something. But it's our fault. We didn't do the right things on the front end. We didn't actually identify what was concerning them. What was concerning them is what their parents thought or what their girlfriend thought or what whoever thought, and we didn't set up the appointment. We weren't bold enough to talk to them right away from the interview. I don't let people leave. I'm like, hey, before you leave, let me call your mom. Because I've already broken it down. Hey, who, Josh, right now you live with your parents, right? So when you get started in anything, whose opinion do you probably value more than anything right now? My dad. Your dad? Okay. Well, one of the most important things for me, before I started investing a lot of time in you, because I want to always make sure I make great investments with my time, is I want to get a chance to meet your dad and your mom so they can take a look at what you're doing, because they're going to be your #1 encouragers, and I don't want them to be detractors. So when are your mom and dad usually together? Oh, okay, great. So here's what I want you to do. I'm gonna tell you what to say, but we're gonna give them a call, and I'm just gonna stop by for 20 minutes just so they can see what you're doing and they can be supportive. Sound good? And I don't have this objection up here, but the only objection you get from that is, it's like, well, wait, why do I have to call the parents? Because this isn't a job. See, I'm investing my time in you as a business partner. It's more valuable than a job. Let me tell you a story. Let's say you had $1 million to buy a McDonald's. You could pay for it in cash. You walk into McDonald's headquarters, hand them the $1 million cash, say, I'm ready to buy. Any location you got. Well, they're going to say, hey, that's great. We're going to put you in Hamburger U, and we're also going to interview your entire extended family. And if they even find the smallest hint of negativity from your family about you buying a McDonald's because you left your job, they're going to say, hey, you can keep your $1 million. We don't think you'd be a good part of McDonald's. So if McDonald's can't afford to do it, Josh, I can't afford to do it. They have a 99.9% success rate. See why it's so important? Yes. That's a higher authority close. Always remember, though, when answering objections, what do? You have to go through this process multiple times in your mind, because in the learning process of communicating with people, excuse me, you go through 4 stages in this business. Stage number 1 is you're unconsciously incompetent. You're so bad you don't even realize how bad you are. You don't even realize the mistakes you're making. And everybody, no matter what you start when it's brand new, everybody starts that way. I was the worst possible at this business. Nothing in this business came easily to me. I had a huge stutter. I could barely communicate with people. I didn't know how to speak in complete sentences. So when I started, because I knew a lot about the products, I was unconsciously incompetent about how to communicate with people. I didn't even realize how bad I was. And by the way, if you think you're great at communicating our opportunity to people, all you have to do is look at your recruits over the last 6 months. And if you haven't recruited 3 to 5 people a month, you're not good at it. That's all you have to look at. If you're not doing that, you need to improve. So, then you move on to you're consciously incompetent. You finally realize that you have work to do and you have to improve, but you're still not good at it, but awareness is the first step of getting better with anything. Then you become consciously competent, which means you know what you're doing, but you have to think about an actual part of your speech habits. So if this is a natural part of your speech habits, just to figure out what people are actually looking for, that's when the business becomes easy. When I sit down with a family, I know I'm getting a check if there's a need. When they are ready to join, it's probably going to be their card declines, not they weren't interested. Like they literally couldn't join. Because I already know why people want to do this business, because people can get whatever they want to accomplish out of this opportunity. My job is not to convince them what I want them to do. My job is to convince them of what they already wanted to do. And that's part of listening, which is all overcoming objections is, listening to what really concerns them. Don't argue, don't attack them. And I went over this last week, so I'm not going to go through too much detail. Leave them to answer their own objections. If you just start asking them questions about what their concerns are, half the time they answer their own concerns. And you don't even need to say anything. Because they say, this business sounds very interesting, but I just don't want to have to knock on doors, Gino. Who said anything about knocking on doors? They were literally assuming that you had to do something that they'll never have to do. Hear them out, feed the objection back, then you can move on. And when you move on and answer the objection, you confirm the answer, then you can say, okay, by the way, how fast do you think you're able to get your license? The records coordinate the licensing class on Saturday. Just move on. Assume they're getting started. Be very assumptive. As a matter of fact, if you're brand new and you haven't really had the opportunity to interview somebody and just close somebody on the idea of getting started yet, it's actually better that you err towards being over-aggressive and then learn how to tone it down. Because you can't turn people on unless you turn people off. Meaning you might unintentionally rub people the wrong way when you're trying to get good at it. Obviously you don't mean it, but that's the only way you can learn how to get better. You'll learn how to make it an art form where people never feel like you're pushing them to move forward or doing something you're uncomfortable with. That only comes with time. Honestly, close too soon, too early, too often, break them, lock them in the room for 3 hours till they sign up, right? Yeah. Steal their credit card? No. So, this is probably the most common objection you're going to get when recruiting. Let me think it over. That's fine, Gino. Obviously, you wouldn't want to take your time thinking it over unless you were seriously interested, right? So since you're interested, may I assume that you're going to give this opportunity very, very careful consideration and just make sure that this is going to be a good fit for you? Yeah, I just like to sleep on things overnight. I want to know that what I'm doing is going to be good. Okay, great. So I don't want you to rush into anything that you think is going to be a bad decision for your family. I want you to be really confident that you give me this business and try, it's going to be the best thing for your family. Honestly, man, just to clarify my thinking though, what is it exactly that you want to think over? Is it the integrity of the company? No, company looks great. You're on Forbes, you have 5 million clients. Because honestly, if somebody says integrity of the company after you show them Forbes most trustworthy company, Better Business Bureau, AM Best, like they're just choosing not to think you want them out of your office. You see, there's no such thing as a big company with no negative press to it. As a matter of fact, The only companies that have no negative opinions of them have no customers and nobody knows who they are. Amazon's one of the fastest growing retailers, kind of a retailer, in the world. Do you think people have had horror stories about how terrible Amazon customer service was, and they bought an item and it didn't get shipped to them and Amazon just stole their money? Yes. You can't be big unless mistakes happen. Is it my personal integrity? No, I mean, you're coming off really honest. I've never sat down with anybody who's just honest about how this business works. Is it the time? That's why you ask the time later, because most of the time, Shay, when they say they want to think about it, what is it really? What's the opportunity? It's time. It's time or money. See, with helping people protect their family, it's money. 9 times out of 10, they have no money in their checking account. They want to protect their family, and they just can't afford it. With our opportunity, though, they literally don't have $124 in their account for the licensing application, and they think the money's going to come out right away. Or they just don't think they can fit it into their schedule. So the fact that I just moved it from let me think about it to I don't have the time, we just found the real objection. But they don't want to tell you they don't have the time because they work only 40 hours a week. They're almost afraid to tell you that. They came in looking for part-time work. But they're like, I just don't know how I can fit it into my schedule. I got family, I have kids, I have all this stuff. Is it the money? So they'll say, hey, why do I have to get paid to get started? Well, you have to get a license to get into real estate. The CPAs have to have a license. Pay a fee, take a test. To become a hairstylist, it takes 9 months of school and a test for the state license, all for a fee of $5,000. Do you think 124 is too much? We're paying for the whole license, basically. It's a $1,000 license. You're only responsible for that much. Or if you're like me, I'll say it's 185 too much. I'll just say everything it's going to be. Anytime you enter a professional field that's regulated by the state and requires a license, doctor, attorney, CPA, real estate, there's going to be a fee and a test, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever had to attend college, pay for class? Okay. Now they understand what they're paying for. So how do you want to take care of the licensing fee? Credit card or bank account? I don't have the time. This is probably the biggest one I get. I understand exactly how you feel. This is the key to really isolating their time. I understand exactly how you feel because when I got started in this business, I was taking 18 credits in school studying computer engineering, and I was also working about 35, 40 hours a week at a retail job. So I thought I had absolutely no time. So right now you're going to Nova taking like 12 credits, Mike? You said you're working like 20 hours at Dick's Sporting Goods? Okay. Great, so what's your schedule look like day to day? So let's go through Monday real fast. Go through their schedule with them. It's like, hey man, there's 168 hours in a week. You're taking 12 credit hours, so let's round up and say 20. You're working 20 hours at your job. 168 minus 40 is 128. Mike, where are the other 128 hours going? Sometimes, honestly, the people who are the least busy think they're the most busy. If they just told you everything they obviously have the time, now they're going to have to start breaking it down. Okay, well, you sleep this much. But you see, if you had 20 hours a week to relax and I'm only asking for 10 hours a week, do you really feel like that's too much? Okay, great. We're going to work it around your schedule, man, but you said making an extra $1,000 was worth it, right? All right, great. So let's give your parents a call. And I kind of went through that without going through the slides. And we already circled back to exactly what we said before about, the slide where we're going over worst case and best case. Can you see how with my skill and your work ethic you can fail? What would be the worst thing that happened if you discovered it's not for you, Ricky? Right, why would you want to give it a try? I won't make money right away. Well, I honestly don't use this one too much, but at the same time, it's like, hey, Ricky, you can make $300 right away. What do you mean? You have a bonus program. Where do you know where you can make $10,000
$10,000 a month right away. But I mean, if you like the long-term opportunity, you know, you're going to school for IT. I mean, how many years do you have to go to school to make money for that? Or if you decided your dream was to become a doctor, how much would you make this year as a doctor? Would anybody even hire you? Would you agree that to start any professional career, it takes time and money? Hey, would you like to work at a job, Josh, that paid you more than like $10 an hour? Is there such thing as a job that's really going to pay you much more than that, that required no extra time, money, or effort? Nope. But that's what you could do. Wouldn't you rather go to 1 weekend class to do it, though, rather than 4 years of school? Yeah. By the way, how do you want to take care of the licensing fee? Or, you know, what's the best number to reach your parents at? All right, let's give them a call. I'm more interested in that, by the way, because if the kid quits right away, but I recruit the parents, it's better. Yeah. They're qualified. I don't like sales. Okay. So, Gino, I know you said you don't really like sales. Why is that? Is it that you just feel you have to be really pushy or just aggressive in order to move up? Okay. I mean, have you ever bought something from a salesperson you liked though, like had a great experience? Yeah. Okay, great. Tell me what happened. They said, oh, well, I was looking to buy this car. You know, he walked me through everything. He didn't push me to make a decision. He even let me think it over overnight. You're like, awesome. Well, if I could teach you how to be a salesperson exactly like that, you wouldn't feel bad about that, right? Okay, great. So if I can teach you to do it like that, and you're just an honest person who really cares about people and doing the right thing 100% of the time more than making money, why would you want to get a license and just give it a try? So, any other objections people run into in trying to get people started from an interview? So you've had to actually interview them. What is it?
One of the objections that I get is a lot of times people call and they would tell me, oh, I just found a better opportunity, or I just got hired by another job. Thank you for taking the time out to talk to me. And
is this somebody that came in for an interview?
This is someone that I talked to on the phone, try to get them out to come out for an interview, or try to come out for a Thursday night, and then they call me back and they told me that, oh, I found a better opportunity.
Okay, but they didn't actually come in yet.
No, yeah.
Okay, so it's a little bit different, but the easy way to overcome that is you can kind of sniff it out right away, that if they're just trying to ignore you. Oh, that's great, Casper, I'm so happy for you. Where are you working now? It's a consulting job. I don't sound mad. That's great, that's awesome, where are you working? And then you know if they're full of it or not, but you see, if you find out they're full of it, you don't want them to come in anyway. If they're dishonest with you there, what makes you think they'd be honest later? You know, I ran into an interview where the guy literally told me that his grandma had a stroke, and then he called me the next day and said she didn't have a stroke. And I was like, I'm not interested in hiring you anymore. Because if you're willing to lie about that, you're never going to do the right thing for a family. Sure.
I mean, I'm just, even if they do have a job, just say, well, you still want to make an extra $3,000 a month part-time. And they still say yes, so.
Then compliment them. What are you doing? Well, you can do this part-time. All right, so anything else? How many interviews have you done?
Not enough.
Okay. All right. All right, give it up for Ricky.
Awesome. You know, before I bring up Shane, I was reading in this book, Grant Cardone, Closer Survival Guide. And I got to a chapter that talks about the 10 biggest reasons why salespeople fail, right? I don't remember what number the reason was, but the reason was, one of the reasons was not having enough closes. See, when you get down to trying to make someone make a decision, either they buy you or you buy them. Either way, there's always a close being done, right? And I really was thinking about it. What is the common objections we think we hear here? As far as recruiting goes, Time, money, don't think it's for me, are probably the three biggest ones. And so you got to know those closes like that. You know, Bruce always talks about if you want to be an amateur and make amateur money here, give it amateur effort. If you want to be a pro and get paid like pros do, be a professional. Invest in yourself. Master your lines. Know multiple answers to multiple objections, right? And you can tell Matt obviously knows a lot of stuff from reflexive. And so one thing I want to just plug to him, who has not read How to Master the Art of Selling Anything by Tom Hopkins? Raise your hand. That's right. No shame. Look, okay, so you put that. It took me 4 years into the business to actually be smart and pick up that book. And then when I did, my numbers of closing business went through the roof. Because how can you be in sales but not know the fundamentals of selling, right? Can you say the name of it again? Yeah, How to Master the Art of Selling Anything by Tom Hopkins. Okay? All that stuff that Matt went over is in there. Okay? And I think you really have to learn how to invest in time learning that. Okay? All right, so now I'm going to bring up the prettier part, the top notch, the leader of top notch, right?
Yeah.
Not the brains time, sir. Let's do it for Shane.
Really fast though, you guys. I think Ricky's gonna cover it, but we're really excited about Thursday nights. It's funny story. Shaq had called T and I about, what, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
About 2 weeks ago. And he had this like low tonality, deep voice. Like, so I've been thinking about, you know, you guys having your own night, da-da-da. He was like, are you breaking up with us? It was crazy because we was kind of like, heart started beating, palms got sweaty. But it was like, wait a second, we're RVPs now, right? We got to get cut from the umbilical cord and go out here and do something. So it's going to take some leaders to step up and build this night, okay? We're going to have to make some minor adjustments. It's going to take people getting here early. Right? We're talking like 6:30 early, right? It's going to take people walking around talking to guests. High energy, right? Leave your problems at the door. How many have problems today? We all do. Leave them at the door, right? This is a builder's night. We came here to build. Just leave them at the door. It's okay. Pray about them before you come in. Let God handle them and leave them at the door. We all got problems. But we got to show up early. We got to be high energy. We got to be excited. We got to self-improve. We got to bring guests. I'm not happy with one guest. The leaders, if you consider yourself to be a leader, have just one guest. Talk to people, right? We are going to build this freaking night, right? We are so excited about Thursday night. Right? We are going to build this thing. And I was listening to Bill Arender, and I was getting slapped in the face today by Bill Arender, man. It's about having a recruiting obsession. I don't think we're taking it up. But are you guys on board to build this night?
Yes.
Right? Let's go. Next Thursday, get here early. Dress sharp. Right? Iron your clothes. Right? Get some gum, peppermints, deodorant. No, I'm serious. We want to build this night. That's what it's going to take. It's going to take us to step up. It's going to take us to read more books, right? When Shaq grew his night, I'm telling you, he was in a zone, right? I want to go back to that. I want to get back in that zone where Shaq was. We saw him do it. We were in it. We built our team. We were in it, right? So it's going to take all of us collectively, not just Ricky, not just Matt, not just Reagan, not just Peter, not just T and Shaq. It's going to take all of us to build this night, right? Next week, we should have 100 people. We got 69 people here tonight. Next week, let's go for 100. Right? After that, let's go for 150. It's going to take all of us, you guys. Right? So let's hold each other accountable. Right? The RVPs, we got to step up. We got to build. We had 5 people last Saturday. That's embarrassing. Right? All I'm listening to is recruiting. I need a freaking top-notch team that's going to be here and show up and get it done. Right? So, Bill Render smacked me today, big time. I've been listening to this for 2 days. And he said, why did you come to Primerica? Somebody tell me, why did you come to Primerica? Why did you come to Primerica?
To have a net worth of $500 billion.
Okay. Right? Who else? Meredith, why did you come to Primerica?
Make more than actually helping people.
Okay, awesome. Who else? There's no right or wrong answer, but to Bill Render it is. Braden, why did you come to Primerica?
I needed to make some money, broke.
All right. Peter, why you come to Primerica?
To build business.
To build a business. All right, we get closer. Cassie, why did you come to Primerica?
To be financially independent and leave my job.
Right, all of those are byproducts of what? Recruiting! Recruiting! We came here to have a bunch of freaking RVPs. I don't want to be selling my whole Primerica career. Right, writing 10 grand is awesome, but I'd rather be like Shaq, coming here looking like I just rolled over out the bed making $500,000. I called T one day, I was like, yo, Shaq just came in here looking like, whatever, I want to be like that. But that's why we came. Shaq is 37, y'all, we came here for that. Come off a vacation, chill, come check on your RVPs, go back home to the family. That's the life. That's why we came. That's why you came to Primerica. If that's not you, I'm not talking to you. But most of us here, we didn't come to be a government contractor and do this part-time. We came to get off this freaking job, right? That's why we came. It's easy to get stuck in a rut. Sales. It's easy to write sales and get stuck, right? Make $2,520 for the whole month. It's easy to be like, oh, it's easy to do that. But that's not why we came here. We came here to recruit on Thursday. We came here to have guests. We came here to sign people up, get them appointments, and recruit for them as well. Build a team underneath them, right? We got to get back to that. We don't want to get stuck in a rut. What is a rut? Comfortable. Anybody else?
Stagnating.
Dead end. I don't want to be at a dead end and be selling my whole Primerica career. I don't want to do that. I'll do it right now. Right, we're gonna stay in business until we build a business, but I don't want to be stuck in a rut. I don't want to be at a dead end. He was like, most of you guys think you're a financial advisor. Most of you guys want to sell the variable annuities. I don't care about that. That's what he said. I'm like, dang, that's true. You want to sell life insurance. You're termites, right? We came here to recruit. That's why we came here. I start to wonder, why are people passing me by? They're recruiting more people than me. While I'm out here going on appointments, they're recruiting, getting them on appointments, recruiting across the KT, getting them on appointments, recruiting again, that's what they're doing. So I'm like, all right, this is why. Got to get back to the basics, get back to recruiting. When we recruited Peter, Peter got 7 people licensed in his first 60 days. Outside of him, he got 2 other people sprint the district. That's Primerica. Not we battling to see who can write the most personal, which is cool for now, but we ain't going to be like that forever. Right? When Liam get 10, you don't want to still be writing personal premium, right? You want to be like Shaq. Recruiting. Recruiting. Wrong way. Never forget my first love. Why I came to Primerica in the first place. Recruiting. Be aware when I'm running the wrong way. This really hit me, because we've had our biggest income month in August with less people writing business. Did y'all hear what I just said? Us in the trades. And had our biggest income month in Primerica history for us. Y'all know how that happened? Sales. Oh, sales. Sales. So when Shaq said that, I was like, you know what? He said, we got to grow. He said, you guys are having record-breaking income months, but nobody's growing. You understand? That's how you get stuck in a freaking rut. You come here, make 10 grand in a month, second month RVP, off of personal producing, only us in the trans sale. You get stuck in a freaking rut. I don't want to be in a rut, y'all. I want a team. This is going to be top-notch right here. We're going to have 200 people in here. They're going to all have on top-notch t-shirts. We're gonna be running around here bouncing, doing the new dance that these kids do, man. I'm serious. I'm trying to update the music. My son is helping me out, so y'all bear with me. I can't stand this music, but that's how you get stuck in the rut. What works and why I came in? This is not why I came. I didn't come here to just sell. We came here because we can recruit the masses and be in freaking Cabo making 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 grand a month and just enjoying one another and our family and friends doing what we want to do, when we want to do it, how we want to do it, and with whomever we want to do. Anybody come here for that? That's what I came here for. I got friends in California doing that right now. I'm serious. I got a girlfriend that hangs out with Diddy doing what she wants, when she wants, on a dime. I want to be like that on my own dime. Right? That's why I didn't come for this right here. This is cool for now, right? Because they said the first year, you're still in building mode. But I don't want to be stuck in a rut. What's my mindset? We are not in financial services. I'm in the business of getting people in the business. He said you got to eat, sleep, breathe. In the business of getting people in the business. That's why we came here. Right? Some of you may have come for, you know, part-time. That's fine. We came here for part-time in the beginning. We just need to make an extra 1,500, 2 grand. But then we saw Shaq make 50 grand in a month. I was like, hold up. Wait a second. If he can do it, we can do it. And we came, y'all. Shaq wasn't as sharp as he is now. Shaq used to wear his daddy pants, but the pants be all scrunched up in the front. The shoes be rolled up. Y'all like, oh, that ain't Shaq. Yes, it was. That's why we have so much belief. He made 50 grand. I said, wait a second. We can do that. It no longer became 1,500, 2,000 a month. It became, I want to make 100 grand. I want to make 200 grand. I want to make 500 grand. I want to make $1 million a year in Primerica. If they can do it, why can't we? We can. Eat, sleep, breathe people into this business. We need to be only talking about recruiting. It's a very, he said, it's a very jealous mistress. That's what he called recruiting, y'all. Y'all understand that? It's a very jealous mistress. You understand that? Y'all quiet.
Yes.
What does that mean? What does that mean to you?
Which part?
Recruiting is a very jealous
Recruiting is a
mistress.
very jealous mistress. It means like you can't be actually doing the helping at the end of the day. You say it can't be like gray areas. It's got to be very black and white. If you want to be independent, if you want to have passive income, you won't be talking about recruiting and not selling, because it's talking about recruiting and selling.
That's right.
You're not going to ever build a team because they're going to be confused. You're not going to know what to do. It's about recruiting. That's what it is.
Any married men in here? I'm about to crack a joke. I promise you're not cracking.
What?
There's some married men out there. They got a jealous mistress. I'm serious though. But that's the term he used. You're at home with your family. She texting and calling you because she's jealous. Recruiting is a jealous mistress. You can't cheat on recruiting with sales. That's what he's saying. He said you gotta have on one hat, recruiting, that's it.
No.
Thursday is a builder's night. And this right here, I'm talking to myself. It's a builder's night, y'all. That's what this is. We are going to pack this freaking room out. It's gonna be standing room only. I'm serious. I've seen it. I've visioned it. As soon as he said it, it's on. We are so excited about Thursdays. But we need everybody to step up. And for the leaders who want to become RVPs, SVPs, NSDs, SNSD, it's going to take a recruiting obsession. We got to be freaking obsessed with recruiting, y'all. That's all we need to be talking about. Who you got coming to Thursday night? It's draft night. We got to start utilizing social media. Chanel was talking about that. You millennials. Any millennials in here? We need y'all. Social media, Raylan, Josh, Reagan. Yeah. Social media, y'all. We need it. We gotta let everybody know what we are doing on Thursdays. Standard hierarchy is about to take, we about to put this freaking company in a choke hold. I'm telling y'all. This was genius for Shaq to do this. It's scary, we nervous, but it's gonna take all of us. All of us. We're gonna have some big regionals, some big divisions, some big visions, and some hella fat RVPs. Yeah. I'm serious. It's gonna take every last one of you. Y'all down for that? Y'all ready for the challenge? Yeah. It's gonna take all of us, y'all. I'm serious. And for those of you that are part-time, just bring people out, right? Because we're a team. It's gonna take a team environment. It's gonna take all of us to get this done. And if you're new, just hold on for the ride. By default, you become RVP. If you just do the right things long enough, bring people around, you might bring somebody up in here that may take you all the way to RVP. How much time we got? So that's the challenge, y'all. Recruiting obsession. Leaders, show up early. Make sure your hair is cut, your nails are clean, clothes are ironed, deodorant, brush your teeth, gum. I'm serious. I'm the laughing, but I'm serious. Because it's going to take, look, I was showing Josh today a picture of Gary Cornigat. They all had on suits. Shoes were shining, sitting on a Bentley, on a Ferrari, all millennium.
Super search, New Year's search, what do you think? You got to push, right? You got to push really hard to get a search. I was talking to a friend of mine that I met in 2010. She just became a vice president. She's out in Texas. And she was just talking to me or whatever because she had just got promoted about in January. She moved 800 miles, or I'm sorry, 8 hours away from her RVP. Right? Her RVP, Whitney Cooper, was in Dallas, Texas. She moved down to some other part of Texas. And she's out there building on her own. And she told me, hey, when I got down there, I didn't know anybody. In 30 days, I got 140 prospects. Rebuilt a 20 by 20 leg. I left a 20 by 20 in Dallas. And she was coaching me. She goes, look, man, you need a recruiting surge. That's what you need, right? And so I was getting a lot of pointers from her and stuff like that. That's what really my mindset is right now. I'm looking to grow my team. My team needs to see me excited about recruiting, right? And so, look, the biggest thing about September is they just announced a 3-month contest, right? We've been talking about Hawaii for the last few months, and some of us were not on track. But guess what? Primerica gives you another opportunity. And this month is the first month of the next 3 months, September, October, November, to finish out for the Aloha Escape, right? So if you get one personal recruit and 1,000 in personal premium, if you're licensed, if you're life licensed, you can do this. That's going to give you 50,000 points. So they just released, I think, 200 plus slots. I think I'm going to go back in a second. So how fast can you do this, right? This can be done in a day, for these requirements, right? Don't string it out. One thing Shaq has really been coaching us on is this is a week-to-week business. It's not a monthly business, right? What are you going to get done this week? You guys have some sense of urgency. Okay. Once you do that, the next way to capitalize on the bonus points is qualify to level, right? So if you're a rep and a senior rep, right, all you have to do is that 1-by-1. So if you do the 1-by-1, you get 50,000 points plus 75,000 points, right? If you're a higher title, you know the requirements: 3x3,500 if you're a district leader, 5x5,000 if you're a division, regional 5x7,500, RVP is 10x10 base or 3x3 personal, right? And then every recruit over the front number over here is an extra 3,000 points. So this month is extremely pivotal. How are you going to separate yourself? Okay, so for new to the life license, there would be 10 new slots. If anybody in here, life license is up here, 30 slots, right? So who's not life licensed yet? Once you get life license 8, you're going to compete for just the next 3 months with the top 30 people in that category, right? Anybody taking the securities exam anytime soon? Right? Josh, put your hand in. It'll be 2019 when you take it. Right? So look, if you're taking it, that's 2 licenses, man. How fast can you get that? That's 10 people, right? Future regionals, right? Anybody below regional, 40 new opportunities for you. Future RVPs, 40 new opportunities, and for us RVPs, 78. Okay, just open the door, give you an opportunity. That's all we can ask, right? Opportunity, and then it's up to you to go through it, right? So, wanted to talk to you guys about those incentives again. Keep the main thing, and that's recruiting. Because when you recruit people, it leads you to a new market, right? When you recruit people, maybe you can't take them in your market, but guess what? you're probably working with an RVP. Because if you're an RVP, if you have an RVP, they're probably pretty good. Okay? They make money, they're duly licensed, they know how to present. You don't have to worry about it. Put your RVP to work, right? All right, guys.
Wait, can I just clarify something? You guys understand when I say recruiting obsession. Don't stop focusing on appointments. Y'all understand that? I don't want to send a mixed message. The recruiting obsession leads to a ton of appointments. Right. That's how we wrote 10 Grand Personal, was the recruiting, get on appointments. I don't want to, it's still setting appointments, and we're going to have a recruiting obsession across the kitchen table now. You understand? Because those are more qualified clients and recruits. Don't stop focusing on appointments, right? While you're on those appointments, have a recruiting obsession, right? That's the West Coast offense. That's what they do. They recruit across the KT. Set a ton of appointments, have a recruiting obsession, and get your clients, get them in the field. Recruit them. Y'all understand that? I don't want to send a mixed message, because I know some of you guys will just start throwing recruits up against the wall. Don't do that. That's not what I'm saying at all. I've never been like that. That's never been my message. The message has always been for me and T, personal producing, get in the field, recruit across the KT. Right? Because just recruiting only and having that obsession and not getting on appointments, you're going to be broke. Like Tanya Post said, you're going to be at the trips begging for some bread. Yeah. We don't want that. When you recruit them, get them on the KT. When you're at the KT, recruit your client. Be obsessed with recruiting at the KT. That's what I'm saying. That's what Bill Arender is saying. Y'all understand that? If y'all have questions about that, call me, text me, email me, shoot me a message, something. But that's what I mean by that. I don't want you guys to get a mixed message about that. I just want to clarify.
And yeah, you know, to piggyback on what you're saying, recruits don't just show up. You have to set appointments for recruits, right? I talk to my team, hey, an interview is an appointment too. What you use that interview for can lead you to more appointments as well, right? You have to do activity, you have to schedule stuff, right? And the last thing I'll say about recruiting, Samir said this to me a few years ago, he goes, look, you may understand recruiting, but there's a difference between understanding it and internalizing it, right? Internalize it, you live it. You're an example of it, right? That's what we all have to get to. We have to get to that next level of understanding how to recruit people, retain people, get people in the field, show people how to make money, show them how to duplicate themselves, right? All right, guys. So we have a few guests back there. Sophia's about to close it up. We're going to finish here. Try to keep the noise down to a minimum so it doesn't interrupt her. All right? Proud of you guys. Team on three. 1, 2, 3.